Now to some health now. Information available to JoyNews indicates that the man whose injections led to the death of 4 persons at the new Senchi Health Centre was operating a private clinic at the facility. The victims had gone to the facility for skin infections, but the retired disease control officer James Yeboah is said to have administered contaminated injections. JoyNews is learning, even though he had retired 6 years ago, he uses the facility for his private gain. Manasseh Azoriah has some updates.
I went straight to the hospital. So my sister's condition, it was so bad. You know, just like a yam will get rotten and you scrape the inside. That's how the sore was. So the surgeon said that, according to the surgeon, they'll scrape some of her parts, body parts, in a way of plastic surgery to heal the place, and they'll address the place. And for the next day, when they come back again, the whole place will be rotten again. And it was scattering. It was deepening and scattering. So the last time, the surgeon said that his last hope is what he's doing, because he didn't know which part he should cut again. And the sore persisted. He wasn't the only person. She wasn't the only person. There were 5 on admission that day. And then I visited all of them. They all had 3 surgeons, consequently. And
all of them had gone to the same clinic?
Yeah, the same clinic. But when I instead on the nurse to tell me what happened, she said all that she knew was that the drug the man usually used got finished. But he mixed some drugs before injecting them. That's what the nurse told me. And then another nurse also confirmed the same story from the health insurance by a worker called Bracken. She told him the same thing. And then I went to the hospital. Then every time I go to the hospital, my sister is in pain. She couldn't eat. She's always pain. She was always lying down there because the place was affected. And then the sad thing I also heard that she had a very close friend who came to disclose to us just last Monday that she was even in her menses before that was happening. So she couldn't bear both pain. But when she's in the menses, she feels so much pain, cramps and all that. She feels it. I know. Please.
4 persons are known to have died after receiving injection at the new Senchi Health Centre at Akradi in the Sujama district of the Eastern region. Sources close to the health centre say James Yeboah, who administered the injections, retired from the facility 6 years ago, but still runs the clinic there. His operations, according to JoyNews sources, are private, even though he uses the premises of the Senchi Health Centre. His work at the facility is concealed from the district and regional health authorities and is believed to have had the blessing of some persons at the health centre. The 4 persons who died after receiving injection from him had no records at the OPD as having been attended to at the health centre, according to our sources. On Friday, the police arrested and detained both James Yeboah and the officer in charge of the health centre. The head of the facility was later granted bail, but Mr. Yeboah still remains in police custody while investigations continue.
He couldn't breathe, the eyes was foaming, and I realized my boy was dying. But I couldn't.
Preliminary investigation by the Food and Drugs Authority indicates that the injections were contaminated.
My colleague Manasseh Azoriah joins me in the studio for more on this story. Manasseh, good afternoon to you. What more do we know about this story?
Well, we're just learning that today, the 2 persons were taken to court. James Yeboah, who administered the injection, and also one Simon Takrama, who is the head of the facility. That's the new Senchi Health Centre. They've been taken to court and remanded in custody whilst investigations continue. So that's the latest we're getting from Akradi.
We also told that 2 persons have been arrested. What has happened to those people?
Yes, these are the persons I'm talking about. They were arrested, I think, on Friday, and they were today taken to court. Our sources are telling us that the police actually asked the court to give them more time to do investigation whilst these people are kept. So the reason they went to court, mainly, they haven't been charged, from what we are hearing, but to give them or the police time to continue with the investigation whilst the 2, we are told, have been remanded in prison custody to reappear at a date yet to be.
We know 4 persons have died, but we know there's a 5th person who is still at the hospital. Any information about that person?
Yes, I spoke to somebody close to this person, and we are told that the 5th person, a woman who is on admission at the VRA hospital, she is doing very well and responding to treatment. The trick we learned is that the virus or whatever that is in the injection
that was given to
yes,
them.
it was eating deeply the flesh, destroying all tissues. So what they decided to do for this case was to cut beyond where the sore was, so that it couldn't spread further. So that's what they did to save this one. And our sources are even telling us that when doctors at the VRA hospital learned of this trick, they actually tried communicating to their colleagues at the Trafalgar, that's the hospital in Ho, where one person died last Saturday.
Right.
They tried to communicate with them, but it was as if his case had reached a level which they couldn't do anything about. So he died Saturday afternoon.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
So this one, how is he a male or a female?
The one on admission?
The one
yes,
on
we are told she's a female, and 2 days ago, the person tells me when they visited, they actually saw her outside her ward, which means
she's responding
her
quickly.
situation is getting better.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Manasseh Azori. We'll keep our eye on this development and update our viewers on the very last minute of the story. Thank you very much, Manasseh.